Hey, Dan Passarelli here. Happy Monday. It's going to be a great week again. So, listen, this week there is not a whole lot of news as far as numbers coming out. We have the Thursday weekly unemployment figures. Friday, we have durable goods orders. There's a couple of Fed speakers. So, all eyes are really going to be focused on earnings. Earnings is what is happening as more earnings are announced. That will give us a better idea of what the economy is doing, but there's probably going to be a lot of individual stock opportunities by trading earnings as opposed to broad market opportunities. Now, I want to drill down a little bit on that last statement, though. Today, we had what is called a doji. That is a tiny little body. The S&P 500 opened and closed at almost the same price, closed just a little bit lower than where it opened. Had a little bit of a wick there. But the important thing is, look at the volume. This was the about the fourth or fifth lightest volume day in the past 6 months. When you get a doji, which represents uncertainty to begin with, on practically no volume, that means there's a lot of uncertainty. People aren't really wanting to commit either way. Now, that said, the VIX, which is, some people call it the market's fear gauge. That's a little bit of an overstatement, but it's 18.37, which is reasonably high, actually. All right. So the thing about that is that number in and of itself is a bit misleading. We've got the election coming up on November 5th. If you look at the implied volatility term structure across the board, you see pretty low volatilities. Obviously, you don't want to look at the one-day volatilities or anything, but low vol 9, 10, 10, 10, 12 around November 1st, but then it starts going up and it's higher after the election. So there's I think you get this every election year. It's probably a little bit more extreme this year, where people have trepidation going into it and they buy options to hedge their stocks. So before then, the volatility is pretty low. After then, the volatility is higher. But like what's really telling, and you see this not just in the S&P 500, but in a lot of different stocks, this doji on low volume, Friday's doji on low volume, the historical volatility is just declining. It's in the toilet. So even with the low volatility pre-election, there's still some overpriced volatility opportunities, which can be excellent for things like credit spreads, maybe time spreads selectively depending on the term structure, iron condors. So looking at that for the broad market and also stocks that have already had their earnings announcements, those are some things that are worth watching. I know John talks about a lot of those in group coaching. I know many of you are members of our group coaching class already. If not, just email me, dan@markettaker.com, and we'll see what we can do about getting you in that class. But outside of that, I hope that helps. This is Dan Passarelli. Have a great rest of your day. Trade smart.